Nobody notices the waitress. That's just the truth. You walk into a fancy restaurant. You look at the menu, you look at the food, you look at the person you came with. But the waitress? She's invisible. Until she isn't. This is a story about a moment so small, most people in that room almost missed it. A shy girl, a silver-haired woman who hadn't truly connected with a stranger in years, and a son who had spent his whole life trying to fill a silence he couldn't fix. What happened in that restaurant that evening didn't make the news. No one filmed it, but the people who were there, they never forgot it. Stay with me, because by the end of this, you're going to look at quiet people very differently. Her name was Maya, 24 years old, working double shifts at an upscale restaurant in the city to pay her way through. Her last year of college, she wasn't the loudest person in the room. Actually, she was probably the quietest. Her manager once told her she needed to speak up more. Her coworkers thought she was standoffish. The truth was, Maya just never felt like words were her strongest thing. Which is funny because what she could do with her hands, that was something else entirely. Maya had learned sign language at 13 when her younger brother was born deaf. She didn't take a class. She didn't read a textbook. She just sat with her brother every single day and figured it out. Because that's what you do for someone you love. By the time she was 15, she was fluent. By 17, she was the only person in her family her brother would go to when he was upset. Because she was the only one who really listened. With her eyes, not her ears. She never thought that skill would matter much outside her home. She was wrong. Now let's talk about the other side of this story. Daniel was 31. Built a software company from his apartment at 23. Sold it for more money than most people see in 10 lifetimes by 28. On paper, he had everything. In real life, he had one problem that no amount of money could fix. His mother, Eleanor, had been deaf since she was 35. A sudden illness, doctors called it sudden. Sensorineural hearing loss. And just like that, the woman who used to sing in the kitchen every morning went completely silent. Not by choice, by force. Eleanor had tried hearing aids. She had tried cochlear implants. Neither worked well for her specific case. And the cruelest part? She had never properly learned sign language. By the time she lost her hearing, she was already an adult, set in her ways. And the people around her, including Daniel, had tried to learn basic signs, but life got in the way. The communication between them had been reduced to notes on paper, nods, lip reading, and a whole lot of guessing. Daniel took his mother out to dinner every Saturday. Not because it was easy. It wasn't. She would sit across from him, watching his mouth carefully, sometimes catching what he said, sometimes nodding along even when she didn't. He hated those nods. He knew what they meant. She was tired of asking him to repeat himself. He was tired of watching her feel left out of a world that just kept moving without her. That Saturday was like every other Saturday, until Maya walked to their table. She almost didn't notice. Maya had been on her feet for 6 hours straight. She had 2 other tables that were being difficult. The kitchen was backed up, and her manager was doing that thing where he stands near the back and stares. She approached Daniel and Eleanor's table with her notepad, gave them a tired smile and asked what they'd like to drink. Daniel ordered. Then he turned to his mother and started mouthing the words slowly, pointing to the menu. And that's when Maya stopped. She watched Eleanor's eyes. The way they moved, slightly frustrated, slightly resigned. It was a look Maya had seen her whole life. It was the look her brother used to give before she learned how to really talk to him. The look that says, "I'm here, but I don't feel here." Maya didn't think. She just did what felt natural. She turned to Eleanor, and in clean, careful American Sign Language, she signed, "Good evening. My name is Maya. Can I help you choose something from the menu?" The table went completely still. Eleanor's eyes went wide. Her hand came up to her mouth. She looked at Maya the way you look at someone when you think you might be dreaming, like you're scared to blink in case they disappear. Then Eleanor signed back, slowly at first, almost like she'd forgotten she was allowed to do this with a stranger. "You know sign language?" Maya smiled and signed, "Yes, my brother is deaf." "What sounds good to you tonight?" What happened next lasted about 4 minutes. 4 minutes of Eleanor signing things she hadn't said out loud, or rather, out loud in her own way, to a stranger, maybe ever. She talked about the menu. She asked about the soup. She made a small joke about how she always orders the same thing and then regrets it. Maya laughed, a real laugh, not a polite one. Daniel sat across from them and didn't say a word, because for the first time in years, the table didn't need him to translate, to repeat, to explain. His mother was just talking to someone, easily, freely. "That video playing on your screen right now? Watch it. It's one you don't want to skip."